like little Janet and Ricky for $65. Going once, going twice, sold to the man in the blue shirt. These are what help human trafficking victims hear on a day-to-day basis from their pimps to other pimps to drug dealers to customers and to various other types of people. It is important that we take a close look at their health implications, identifying from where their pimps will hit for their victims next, and for finding evidence that will link it back to them, that will link and close down their operations for good. A couple of points that I would like to cover with you guys today is the health implications as we look further into the physical and a little bit of the emotional implications that they may have, identifying where their pimps will hit next for targeting their victims, and also finding evidence that will link it back to shutting down their operations. My first point that I would like to share with you guys is their health implications in identifying it and making sure that it's taken care of. A lot of the times, if the girls don't perform well, their pimps will abuse them, causing bruising around their eyes and for them to go blind and fracturing their nose and everything like that. And this needs to stop right away. And a lot of the times, the pimps will even cut them too. Don Eckelson states this in Human Trafficking, Identifying Victims. In his article, he states that human trafficking is or has a huge impact on the victim's health. This is important because a lot of the times these girls don't ever have a hope of getting out, and their living conditions are so poor that they are deprived of food, water, and just a lot of things. They're in close quarters with several other girls and may not have the room that they need. A lot of the times when they don't, as I had said, they don't perform well, they get, black eyes and cuts on their face. Tiffany Richards states in her article, Health Implications of Human Trafficking Victims, she states that other health implication victims may experience, HIV, STDs, and tuberculosis. This is just the tip of the iceberg for what can happen, and from an emotional standpoint, it could take years for them to ever heal from what they've experienced. Second point would be identifying where the pimps go for their next targets, which would be neighborhoods, parks, and the main place that these pimps like to go is international airports. They will target people from out of the country that are traveling to different states or going different places, and they will just look for those guys. That's why it's important to stick with a buddy system and someone that you know, because a lot of the times if you are alone, they will target you first. And if we were to raise awareness about it and put posters everywhere and just educate people more about how important it is to stop these pimps from going any further, that's why this needs to be stopped. It is also said too, through Freedom 424, that 80% of victims are women. And the reason for this is because it's mainly women and children, and you won't ever really see men involved in this, but because it's mainly women that are targeted the most for this. My last point would be shutting down these pimps for good. And it is important that these guys don't go any further in harming women and children and just basically depriving them of their freedom for the chance at experiencing life on their own without other stuff. God values human life, and that's not to be sold and given up our freedom for that. Donald Alvin says in his book, Speech Communication, a Bible verse, and that's Psalms 82:4, and that says, "Rescue the weak and the needy, deliver them from the hand of the wicked." A lot of the times these victims don't have voices to speak out, and a lot of the times, even though they may act like the way that they do, they don't have a choice, because even if you do see guys around there, they aren't there to help them. They're there to push them to do what they want them to do and not really rescue them from anything like that. As I had stated before, as I had stated before, it is important to take a closer look at their health implications and assess them right away to identify where their pimps are going to hit and collect their targets next, and lastly, to find evidence that links it back to shutting down their operations for good. Thank you.